That is the universal look. But it still doesn't make you a Hebrew Israelite. So the Gentiles, we know that they have a universal look, but they're not a people. And I'm going to prove it to you. Now, let's go here a little further now. Let's look at Genesis 9. Let's look at Genesis 9 and 18. Now let's look at that 18 and 19. Look what it says. It says, and the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark was Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Cain. And these are the three sons of Noah. And of them was the whole earth overspread. Now, like I said in the last video, all of Noah's sons, they left the general vicinity of the ark, and they start branching off here. First, they went down by the Isles of Gentiles. Then they left there and they started branching off, started going other places, other places, and they was reappropriating their own kind. Because if you look at the scriptures, it says that every kind that came off the ark went with its own kind. A giraffe didn't come off the ark and then go with an elephant. It was an elephant left with an elephant, and a giraffe left with a giraffe. But every creature, it was male and female. They left together. They didn't mix and mingle. No, they didn't. So we had one to say, you know, it was such a foolish. It was a foolish answer that they wrote. You know, saying that the giants came from Noah's sons' wives, and that couldn't be further from the truth. The giants, they were on the ark too. They left with their kind. The scripture says it. The scripture says every kind of creeping thing, whatever it was, left with its own kind. It didn't leave with something else. So I mean, why would a person say something as stupid as that? But the reason is because one wants to get into conversation and to voice their opinion about something, and your opinion is not valid at all. I mean, if you got something that has some validity in it, then yes, you know. But just to be saying something and can't back it up is foolish. And like I say, you know, my brothers and sisters, we welcome your comments. We do. I mean, we love hearing from our sisters and brothers. But there are some comments that come across that is so far out of left field. I mean, it just leaves you shaking your head like, how in the hell could, I mean, where did he or she get that from? But anyway, let's go a little further here. It says that Noah kids went out and started going every place here and started, you know, having kids and going all over the planet. Now, let's go a little further here. Let's go to Judges, because we're going to see something here in Judges, you know, and the real talked about that too, but we're going to hit on that, and then we're going to move on down into our teaching for tonight. We're in Judges chapter 4. We're going to look at verses, let's look at verses 2. Well, we're going to read 1 and 2. It says here, and the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead. And the Lord sold them into the hands of Jabin, king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Syria, which dwelt in Harosheth of the Gentiles. Now, not that they were Gentiles, but he reigned in that area where the Gentiles lived. But we still see here that the Gentiles are never called a people. They're just called Gentiles. Now, let's go a little further. Let's jump down to verse 13. Let's look at 13. It says, well, let's do 12 and 13. It says, and they showed Syrian that Barak, the son of Abian, was gone up to Mount Tabor. And the Syrians gathered together all his chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people that were with him, for Harosheth of the Gentiles unto the river of Kishon. Now, here it says that the people that were with him from Harosheth of the Gentiles, not that they were Gentiles, but there was in that general vicinity of the Gentiles. It said, unto the river of Kishon. All right, now we see here that the Gentiles are still not called a people. But we still see here that whatever they are, you know, they walk around just like you and I, but they are not Noah's grandchildren, nor his great-grandchildren. Now, we also see here that this area that the Gentiles live in, it is their area. It is called Harosheth of the Gentiles. Now, let's go a little further. We're going to go down to verse 16. Let's look at that one. We're going to read 15 and 16. All right? It says, and the Lord disfigured Syria and all his chariots and all his hosts with the edge of the sword before Barak, so that Syria letting down off of his chariot and fled away on feet. But Barak pursued after the chariot and after the host unto Harosheth of the Gentiles. Now he pursued behind them to the land of the Gentiles, and all the hosts of Syria fell upon the edge of the sword, and there was not a man left. Now we see here again that the Gentiles have their own land, and it's called this name here that I'm probably not pronouncing correctly, but you guys see what I'm saying. Now let's go to Isaiah 49, and we're going to show you here that Gentiles, they ain't got no hope. I mean, I know that it has been taught that the Gentiles, they was grafted in and all this bullshit, but I'm telling you, Gentiles don't have no hope. God has only one people, and that's the children of Israel. No one else. His inheritance is only Israel. No one else. Jacob is my inheritance. No one else. Now let's go a little further here. We're in Isaiah 49. Let's start with verse 5 now. I know a lot of you guys probably going to think that Isaiah here is talking about Jesus and stuff, but my brothers and sisters, that couldn't be further from the truth. Don't any of the old patriarchs speak anything about Jesus at all. At all. I mean, they put him in there in order to make them a book. They came back and picked out certain scriptures, to try to put together and make them a New Testament over there, and give the rest of the world hope. But God has only one people. I mean, God has always been that way. Now let's look at this right here. We're going to start with Isaiah chapter 4, verse 5. It says, and now saith the Lord that formed me from the womb. Who you talking about? Isaiah. To be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. But see, many would say that, Isaiah is talking about Jesus. No, he's not. No, he's not. No one ever spoke anything about Jesus. Now let's go a little further here. He says here, though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength. Who is this? Isaiah talking about the Most High. He says, and he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to raise up the tribe of Jacob, and to bring and to restore the preserve of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles. See that? See what he says? A light to the Gentiles. Now look what he says here. That thou mightest be my salvation to the end of the earth. Not to the Gentiles. No, that Isaiah. Not Jesus, not the Gentiles. Now let's go a little further here. Because if you start back up here at verse 1 and you read on down there, he's talking about who he formed in his mother's womb. Isaiah. Not Jesus. Jesus is nowhere on these pages. Nowhere. Now let's go a little further here. It says here now, to back up what I just read. Look what he says. Thus saith the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel. Not the Gentiles, not the world. Look what he says. And the Holy One, to him, whom man despised, to him whom the nations abhor. Who? Israel. We are up. Don't nobody love Israel. Everybody hate the chosen people. You can go anywhere. And I ain't talking about the mixed shit now. I'm talking about the true people. Wherever you go, you can write this down. You will be hated. And you try to figure out, well, why don't nobody like me? Because he have marked you. He have made you where everybody is going to hate you. Now, if any of you don't have a problem with that, you just go back and read. Read Deuteronomy. I mean, my brothers and sisters, it's right in the page. If you're making all these millions of dollars and you out here doing all this and doing all that right there, I mean, that's a tell sign that you're not the chosen. Because he said you're going to always be in need. You're going to always be in want. But now you got these others, well, I'm black, and then here you sitting on $300 million. But you calling yourself black. Your children don't ever worry about nothing. You can stop work today or tomorrow, or stop going, doing whatever you're doing, and you couldn't spend all the money that you got in a lifetime. But you black. I mean, all of these people, they just snuff their nose up at the Most High, and just disregard every word that he says. I'm going to be... See, just because one say that, I am, doesn't mean that you are. I mean, and we have went through this on many other tapes and stuff, videos that I made, and I am very firm on that. I will not back up. Not me, because I'll be lying to myself and then lying on the Most High. I mean, we have to stick to his word. His word cannot be changed. Now, it may sound offensive to some, like I heard this one guy, he was saying, well, how can God be so this and so that? And then he sent Israel in and he slaughtered all these innocent people. I said, well, that's just the way God is. But see, you've been taught by Western civilization and by the New Testament that God is this little wimpy punk and that he just loves everybody. And that couldn't be further from the truth. He does not. I mean, if you just look at what he did to his own people. And like I said in other videos, you guys know that how I talk about Joseph. Look at what he did to Joseph. And all through the writings, he loved Joseph. He said he loved him. But all these bad things happened in his life. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. All these things came into their lives. And then, if you listen to Western civilization, then you say, well, how